This video was created for the Udemy online class, Create an Enchanting Garden. I wanted to share it with everyone since it's garden season. Maybe it will inspire you to create your own enchanting garden. Have a awesome day. In this video, I want to share with you our very own transformation of our boring driveway into our very own enchanted garden. And I hope it inspires you, gives you ideas on how to create something from nothing when you have just maybe a little bit of space, and perhaps even if you're on a budget. This whole transformation started back in the summer of 2020 while we were all still on lockdown during the COVID-19 pandemic. We rent a home and we don't have a yard, we just have a driveway. And so during the summer and warmer days, we would go out into our driveway with our little lawn chairs and sit out there and maybe have a glass of wine or read or have the dog and our cats out there with us. And it was pretty ugly, but we were having fun, and so it kept going on like this until my husband had a brilliant idea. During that time, we had an elderly dog, Kuan Yin, who had a tumor on her back leg. And she was having difficulty walking down the street because we didn't have a yard or grass for her to do her business in. We would have to walk her down the street to the bike trail where there was grass. She could do everything she needed to do. And in the summer, walking down the street it was brutally hot. It was hot on her paws. She was too big to carry down there. So my husband had this idea to build her own little cat box that she could use to do her business in, and we would just make a huge planter, plant grass in it, and she could use it in the summer and in the winter, and she wouldn't have to walk down the street. And here's that box. And here's Kuan Yin laying in her grassy box in the summer of 2020, and she absolutely loved it. During this time too, because it was a pandemic, it was so hard and difficult to find lumber and potting soil and the things we needed. It was absolutely crazy. It took us about a month to get everything we needed online or from various hardware stores to finally be able to make this. Once Kuan Yin's grassy box was completed, it inspired us to do even more for our outdoor patio. We wanted something pleasing to the eye for us. So we added a fake AstroTurf rug, which lasted about a year until it got pretty ratty, but it worked. We added a big planter box and filled it with lavender and herbs, 2 greenhouses. We bought a little patio table and an umbrella. We put our bikes out, a few wind chimes, and some more potted plants. And it was perfect. It was so much better than just sitting in a driveway with 2 bad lawn chairs. You may have noticed on the previous picture that our fence was kind of ratty, and you probably couldn't see it, but if you sat in the back near one of the fences, you could see through the cracks, and we could see our neighbor's yard, which was not very attractive. And I wanted to hide the junk, and I just wanted some privacy. So I found these shower curtains online with a forest decor pattern on it, and so we nailed these all around the fences to give us privacy and also to add a touch of greenery. And it worked out great because they're waterproof and they were easy to work with and inexpensive. This is one of the side fences with the shower curtain attached to it, along with some citronella plants, which really got huge, and they're great to keep away mosquitoes, and of course add greenery and a little bit of fragrance to the garden. So this now is a photo of the garden transformation from 2021. During that time, we decided to add a huge greenhouse on top of the planter box. It did a few things, added more privacy to the yard that we created. Our car could be kept behind it, and it also provided a place for us to put a little cat outdoor box for one of the outdoor kitties that comes and visits us all the time. So we don't have a picture of it right here, but eventually we added a cat home underneath this planter box here, and she comes to visit every once in a while. We leave her food and water and things like that. This is inside one of the greenhouses. This is a solar-powered gnome that lights up at night and a solar-powered lamp that goes on at night as well. And this is inside the big greenhouse in the summer of 2021. The garden box that was filled with grass for our dog morphed into a wild garden. Kuan Yin passed away in the summer of 2020, so we decided to make her garden bed into a garden dedicated to her. So as you can see, we have wildflowers here, and this is from the wildflower mix from the Bentley Seed Company to attract birds, bees, and butterflies. And there's more about that in other sections of this class. This is a side view of the garden, and this was early summer of 2021 before the flowers started blooming all over the place and before the sunflowers got huge. Adding a few more greenhouses gave us more room for more plants, which was wonderful, and it also added more privacy to the backyard. And the nice thing about these greenhouses is you can move them back indoors if you want, but we left ours out for all year round, and it worked out because in the winter we stored all our old potting soil pots and tools and things like that, and even our bikes ended up in one big greenhouse. We added a few more gnomes to the garden, all over the garden and inside some of the greenhouses, and all of them were solar powered, so they light up at night. I also added a lot of solar powered twinkle lights in the garden itself, like on the ground, so at night it looked like fairies were dancing in the garden. I added it on the fence, in the greenhouses, and around the window in the house as well, to just give it a little bit more magic. And you can find solar powered lights everywhere now, and there's a whole section about them in this class. This is our garden, and this is a monarch butterfly on a blazing star flower. We planted flowers to attract butterflies, bees, and birds. You can see that we have a solar powered fountain in the background and several other flowers to attract lovely creatures. We have California poppies, cone flowers, marigolds, pansies, lavender, sunflowers. See if I can get a close-up of this monarch. Isn't he gorgeous? We have tons of bees here too. We have 5 greenhouses with tomatoes and lettuce and basil and herbs. Another solar fountain. More bees. This is a large greenhouse that we have lavender, sunflowers, and other flowers in. Swiss chard, lettuce, citronella to keep the bugs away, a few pumpkin plants, and lots of tomato plants. And our monarch is still here. We had marigolds that just bloomed like crazy and attracted all kinds of butterflies, especially monarchs. We had praying mantis in the garden, lots of bees, and it was just delightful. We added twinkle lights that came on at night, all solar powered fountains, solar powered bird bath. It was enchanting for us. Yes, it's just a tiny little driveway that has morphed into a garden, but it's very peaceful for us. It gives us privacy and it makes us happy. So I hope this inspires you to create whatever makes you happy. To decorate for Halloween, we added these huge spiders to the big greenhouse, and you can't see it in this photo, but along all of our windows on the house and a few of the other greenhouses in the back of the driveway. It turned out really cute. We left them up for the whole month of October and even November, but then we took them down because it got too cold to keep them up there and we didn't want them to get frozen. Here's a few pictures of the snowstorm we just had last weekend. Snowstorm of February 2022. Quite deep and the garden is quite hidden. There's going to be a lot of work to do to clean up this mess if it ever melts. And I'm looking forward to getting out there and gardening again. But right now it's just too cold. Thanks so much for watching. For more information on holistic pet services, books, and our online classes, please visit 4pawsacupuncture.com. Thanks and have a pawsome day.